Batrider and Shadow Shaman, two of the best heroes to be able to slow up that Ember.
Yeah, it's really going to force troubles for Ember. It's also going to allow Fnatic to have such early game pressure. We normally say timing point for Tiny is Aghanim Scepter being up and running, but with Mass Serpent Wards adding onto all of that, goodbye tier 1s. Very good luck. Good luck. May you survive past 10 minutes. Chances are very minimal. No. The laning wise though, I'm interested to see how Fnatic want to try and run this. Normally would say safe lane. Would say safe lane, Shadow Shaman, Tiny, as well as Wisp, especially going up against a Bane line and a Treant Protector coming up from Sigma. This should still be a safe lane Ember Spirit, correct me if I'm wrong. Either that or Sigma, they could do something which they have played around in the past. It's either going to be a Lion in the solo mid role for Fader, which is the more likely hero to go into this. But Sigma, as well as, well, it wasn't Fnatic that did it, I think it was Roxkiss, because they did everything. They ran a Treant Protector as a core.
Reserve time.
Yeah, I would say I'm actually leaning towards the Treant Protector as a core here, especially since looking at Fnatic's lanes, I'm thinking dual. You need to be able to run something up against that Ember Spirit. I'm not entirely sure how well Tiny Wisp will be able to do, but you know at the very least you will be able to win that lane fairly early on, at least level 2, level 1 and 2. Tiny Wisp can put in a lot of aggression. You pick up that early bottle possibly, go for a fast bottle build on the Wisp. That gives you enough regen between the two of you to be able to survive through a lot of that aggression. I would say put the Tiny Wisp in middle to shut down the Ember and farm up and put another decent semi-carry going into the safe lane with the Shadow Shaman and have a Batrider off lane. That's just what I'm seeing out of this from Fnatic. There's definitely other ways they can run this. For example, the Batrider mid. I don't really like Batrider mid though up against the Ember Spirit, because that is, you don't actually have enough aggression to be able to punish Ember early, and if you don't punish him in lane early, like pre-level 3, then you're going to start having a really bad time. As he starts picking up level 5, level 7, he becomes a real terror, and I don't really look at Fnatic's lineup, and I don't see the immediate disables that are going to hold him down. Batrider needs a blink. Shadow Shaman, you'd like to be able to see a blink as well from him. Otherwise, like, those heroes just won't be able to get close enough to Ember Spirit to shut him down.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. You want someone that can punish him early on, you just got it. Slark comes in for Fnatic as their final selection, so you get your wish, man. There'll be a Batrider on the off lane. I say Batrider on the off lane. It could be the dual lanes. It could be even Slark and Wisp together in the early stages to give Tiny the full space and Shadow Shaman just pulling. Yeah, Fnatic, they're always so dynamic in their lineups. You can't limit this to one set of lanes, which is going to make life very difficult for Sigma because they don't really have any kind of scouters unless they're going to pick up like a Nature's Prophet as their final hero here. They've got no real way to scout, and that I suppose that does give them a lot of power for their split push as far as like Ember Spirit's maneuverability in the later push of the game. Great.
Pain.
But they need killing potential, and that's where Quad is now they come to the mix-up. They need a silence hero that worked nicely up against the Slark. I guess the Orchid will be the choice from the Queen of Pain. How well it will work, that's a question mark, but also check out who's playing what.
Yeah, that's what I was checking out there. Matt is on the Treant Protector.
So yeah, you get a support Treant Protector. Actually, no. No, you don't.
Yeah, this has got to be, like, unless they're running, unless they know, because their dual lane's coming out, they run an aggressive tri-lane and give, a free lane up. You think there's going to be a swap? See, that's what I was thinking, but they're not swapping yet. So I was thinking an aggressive tri-lane and free up 2 solos in your mid and your safe lane.
See, I'm still down for the aggressive tri-lane, but at the same time, like, they need some transitions up. So if you give Corp and you give Ember Spirit the full space, then I feel this is okay. But it really should still be the Treant Protector getting the hardcore farm. A Bane with farm early on, it's not enough. And Bane's also one of these heroes where Nightmare will protect him to a point, but with a Wisp toss, with a Tiny toss, you should be able to get any hero in range of Miguel to initiate. If it's going to be Hex, if it's going to be Shackles, either way, you won't be able to control him once the hero is tossed in. So, yeah, I'm not liking this off lane for Miguel. Matt will try and protect him as much as possible. In fact, they're already preparing up with this top lane. Shagbarks just delivered 1 tango for someone who will be in need. But you get the right lanes out from Fnatic. So Era will be the middle lane with Notel. You get a safe lane Hani, so he gets very quick levels on that Slark, which means a quick transition in. Fly will be the support in the bottom lane, and he's going to be helping Trixie on this off lane. This is going to be either stacking inside their own jungle, stacking up the Ancients, anything they can do.
Yeah, I don't think Fly is actually going to be sitting in lane a whole lot here. I think he's just sitting on the rune. You might see him stacking up Ancients, but there's just no way he's going to be sitting here at
his
the
primary camps are going to be these guys right here.
Exactly.
If they're stacked up, Trixie gets a little bit of farm, and then they just put him into the jungle, and that's just a quick bump. You're going to get 2150, and you start walking around with your Blink Dagger.
However, because of what they were doing there, because he was sitting on the rune, he actually misses out on a very, very key thing here. Ward has already gone down blocking the pull. So, and they won't be able to realize that until the minute mark, and then Fly won't even know exactly where it's at. He doesn't have counters. So there goes that whole entire pull. And it's just going to be now just straight up dual lanes, and no advantage is going to be given to Fnatic.
See, I don't see a massive problem coming out from this, because Fly needs to be in the lane anyway. So while the Observer Ward's going to be there, yes, there's no pull, but at the same time, with Hani's ability to kill, once he hits that level 2, once he has the pounce, then it's more trouble for Sigma to be up on this top lane. Because Hani will just stay on the front lines. He definitely needs a PMS though. Like, this Stout Shield will not do. He needs to actually deck himself out a little bit more than this.
Yeah, this is a very, very aggressive dual lane coming out.
Middle lane. Actually, no, it's going to be okay. It's just Notel and Era doing their normal thing. But with that aggression, now Notel has Bottle already up and running.
Oh, bottom though, Trixie's in some serious trouble.
Fader, does he have one more jump? There's no fisting.
Yeah.
Trixie gets back in time.
Yeah, very, very dangerous. This, Batrider isn't really known for surviving in the off lane very well. He's able to kind of get aggressive, but
Era has no follow-up. But even just that fist, the attack of Tiny into Queen of Pain really drops a low. And she doesn't have anything up just yet, and the Spirits are taking away the living armor charges, so there's no extra life points coming back to her. But it really feels like they're trying to run like a bottleless Queen of Pain. That's what it looks like here in the middle lane, which is not really going to help out. Obviously, they're assuming they're not going to get rune control, which, by the way, is on bottom. This should be denied up very quickly by the Lion as a priority. So Notel is unable to pick that one up.
Yeah, he really needs to do that because the fast bottle build is up for Notel, and he would love to be able to Yep. Well, nicely done. Perfect timing for that. But yeah, this is a big advantage right now for Sigma, right? They're getting a pull, and both teams have supports that are very, very level dependent. Like Lion is one of those, very, very similar to Shadow Shaman. Does a lot going into mid to late game. That the problem is getting to that point. So Paz, he does have that pull available to him.
Soshka's having some fun times here with Ear in the mid lane. He dropped him down about 100 life points, but up on top lane. The Nightmare now into the Leech Seed. Fly, he's only got Shock as well as Shackle, which means he will not be able to survive through this one. But Hani, if he can get some revenge kills for this, then it kind of becomes worth it. So he goes in, counters on Miguel, holds him there quickly. Can't keep up the pressure. They won't get a revenge kill from this. Man is so low on 33 life points. But they're going to survive through all of this while on bottom lane, Hani running away from Fader. Trixie running away with 110 life points. Just a Hani on Batrider. While Era's just going to keep chilling in the middle lane, farming up.
Yeah, that was a really, really good interception there from Miguel. He because he picked up boots fairly early on, he had that movement speed, and he got in front of the Slark, which is really well done. Granted, he was kind of on the side of the Slark, but you could tell that was his motive, that he was trying to get in front of the Slark so he can intercept that pounce to keep Mad alive, and that's exactly what happened. So really well done by Miguel there. And their dual lane, it's kind of paying off. Sure, they found the squishy Shadow Shaman alone, but they're also shutting down the Slark's farm, which is really, really key. This lane, while you classify both of these heroes as pretty defensive, because they're so defensive as nature, it means they can just go balls to the wall in aggressive harassment. This Bane can go super far forward and just auto-attack Hani repeatedly and doesn't have to fear pretty much anything thanks to Mad sitting on the side ready with the living armor as well as a leech seed.
Yeah. That's a very difficult lane to kill off. I'm still wondering, though, what's really being traded off for all of this, because right now, like, Queen of Pain's keeping up with the CS, but she's not dominating over the top of Era right now, which means Era is still finding farm up on that Tiny, and late game, Sigma will lose this. There is no question mark in my mind about this at all. Hani, oh, he's low. He has to leap himself away. He was really considering the Dark Pact as well.
Paris. Ooh, I don't know what he was doing there, Sakshka. He picked up an Invis rune and then threw down a Scream that hit neither the Tiny nor the Wisp and just hit a range creep. Like, he completely misjudged the range of it, missed everything, and then was right next to a Tiny with a big combo ready to go. That was a very, very risky play from him.
Either that or he's trying to bait out the mana usage, but...
that doesn't make sense because you got that Bottle Wisp. On top of that, like, Era's bringing in some extra items. He's, like, going to have those upgraded boots soon. So that's still just more mana pool going the way of a Tiny. Yeah. You're never going to be able to deplete that for good.
You're right, man. I'm really worried that Sigma's going up against a ticking clock, which I say worried because I really feel like their lineup has such fantastic killing potential. You know, not only just talking about like Miguel and what Mad and Miguel can keep themselves alive and be a huge buffer for the rest of the team, but once you start adding in that lion finger of death, there's a lot of burst damage coming out from him. It's Fader who's getting a lot of farm on bottom lane, up to phase boots as well. I'm also watching middle lane, Avalanche toss and a blink away to safety. They won't be able to dive in deep enough to kill off Paris, but as you said, top lane Shadow Shaman will die at the Treant Protector.
Yeah, they're just a simple sleep, and then they get a melee range with the Leech Seed going down. Shadow Shaman has no hope. I mean, he pretty much has to sit. He can't be in range of anybody here. His only job should be to wake Hani up if he's in a bad position.
Soshka, Era wants some space, but Fader's TP'd himself into this lane. There's still some strength treads there, but the Wisp, if he even relocates him with a follow-up stun from Pats, it's now going to be a possibility for 2 kills, but Era throws him away. He's going to almost stick out.
Dire's bottom tower is under
attack. Last attack from the Ember Spirit will get the kill there, but it was 6 life points was what the Shadow Strike brought him down to. We also saw Trixie move himself out of the jungle and come in towards this middle lane. Just trying to soak up the experience in the absence, while Hani, Nightmare up on top lane, Leech Seed combination. They got living armor, so diving up the tower is no problem. It's just going to pounce in, try and keep him on the leash. The shock's going to be there, but they've already killed off Hani into the shackles, but Fly, that's going to dive it. Leech Seed comes up cooldown 3 seconds time. Fly does the right decision. TP is out, but only fakes it. Now goes to the Hex. Trixie TP's himself in. He's got a lot of sticky napalm possibilities right now with the Firefly too. Mad can't really hope to juke this out. They need to slow him down, and now No-Tail comes in for the extra kill here. And Mad, just a quick Leech Seed, but he'll die at the Batrider. So it goes into the Blink Dagger fund.
Look at middle, though.
Yeah, Era can't get close enough. In fact, now he's in trouble. He's really dived deeper on this tower. The toss throwing Fader away from him, but a quick jump in, stick charge to keep him alive at 28 life points. He's going to try and juke it in the tree line. Come back up through the mid. No-Tail, in fact, finds himself up on the high ground, giving him the stick charges to keep alive. Cover Era's retreat.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, like, Sigma's whole entire lineup is built for this really early to mid-game aggression, and they needed to be able to move the Ember Spirit around the map, and that's exactly what Fata did. He went, ganked up Era earlier, and then went back to base and smoked up immediately. Went back to mid.
Fiend's Grip on top lane, but Hani, the Dark Pact started off. We'll get Nightmare up, but Hani breaks the first ultimate of Miguel.
Yeah, that was... that was just pretty much on the Bane. Like, he had already popped the Dark Pact pretty early on before Miguel even attempted that. So that was just a little bit of an error there from Miguel, that he could have just waited that out.
Oh, this rune control has been really perfect by Sigma.
Yeah.
Fader comes and watches over it, and Queen of Pain just quick bottle up and pick up the rune. Then she can start ganking up. There's an Invis rune too, so it's an action-making rune. Hasn't triggered it, so won't be surprising up Fnatic at all with it.
One thing that is really, really lacking right now for Sigma is a lack of bottle on Ember Spirit. We're going to see another smoke up from him, and he's going to make another, like, solo man rotation around the map. But he needs to be able to have a bottle to keep up this mana use of his. It's why you sometimes see, like, Sing Sing's Ember Spirit, you know, go for mana boots. Like that, This hero is so mana dependent. The fact that he doesn't have mana boots, nor does he have a bottle, is just kind of absurd. If he does not make these ganks actually successful, he's wasting so much time here because he can't immediately go back to the fountain, heal up, and have a full bottle ready to go.
Top lane fight. They already start off the initiation. Hani pounces himself away. He managed to Shadow Dance in this one for a moment. goes inside the tree line to try and evade their vision. That gives him time to heal up. He's got Pounce available at the moment, and man, he'll be careful. He may die right now. Shadow Dance into the Dark Tank, really hitting hard on him. In the meantime, though, with a rotate in from the relocate, this Era, in fact, picks up a double kill, trying to lock him in the corner. 2 seconds until he gets pulled back out of this one. But the Shackles, it's an avalanche and toss combination. Fader killed off. Era picks up a triple kill, really punishing Sigma for coming underneath the tier 1 tower. And all they get in return is a kill on a Slug while they feed Tiny what is a full set of drums, basically.
You know, I hate to ask this question.
Yeah.
But I really have to wonder how many times Fada has played Ember Spirit so far. Because you saw that was a situation where you could have thrown down a Remnant and kept up with the Slark and made sure that he didn't get that time for a regen. Instead, they spent so much time like trying to search around instead of just throwing down a Remnant. And a big problem was the fact that Fada, I'm sure he wanted to hold on to what little mana he had there and didn't want to use the Remnant. However, you can't really do that. You're giving Slark the opportunity to be able to find regen and to be able to pop his ultimate. And now Fada, he's got to go right back to farming. He needs to finish up his drums. He needs to pick up a bottle in my mind in order to make his mid-game aggression worth it.
N0tail just harassing this Quap out in the middle lane just by throwing toss after toss. I think originally N0tail was meant to be thrown in just then, but there was another creep that's a little bit too close to Era just then. Yep, another toss. Range harassment to get rid of a Queen of Pain. But man, I'm so with you for just the need for mana. It's almost as painful as watching Eternal Envy play Doombringer with Shadowblade and then no extra mana items and think, yeah, I can still devour and use my mana-intensive support items in order to initiate or to kill or do things like that. It makes you so much more protective. Well, that's the reason why you see players like Era, like they get the drums, they get the higher stats, they get some good intelligence behind them. It means N0tail doesn't have to work so hard. We're going to relocate, and you're right, coming down towards the bottom lane, they go on Fader, and this is where they start to shut down the ability for this Ember Spirit to function, but Pass as well as Mad. They're waiting here in the middle lane. Queen of Pain blinks up, they've got Finger of Death, they require it, but they just have the Wisp scope back. And that's a worthwhile trade, shutting down the Ember Spirit for a Wisp. He relocates, he's done his job.
I was just going to win us there from N0tail, knowing not to bring his ally back. Instead, they're just going to go ahead and push in bottom. If they want to try and push in middle, just make a trade. Fnatic are not pressured to be aggressive on Sigma whatsoever. They can try and shut down the Ember Spirit every once in a while with a good relocate and maybe harass the Quap out, but it's not on them to really be pushing down towers and taking objectives. That's totally on Sigma.
Yep. But the funny thing is, Fnatic can do that anyway. Like they have a Wisp and Tiny combination. Even if it's just to relocate in for a full level toss, you're still dishing out that damage to the tower. You got a Batrider with a Blink Dagger running around inside the Radiant jungle, stacking it and farming it up. He's got a huge injection of money over on that Batrider, and then you had Hani the entire time all this fighting was going on. He was free farming up top lane, finishes up his Ring of Aquila, is about to finish up his treads as well, and he's all ready to fight. And you got Fly with one level up Mass Serpent Wards, which he's been begging to put in range of a tier 1 tower.
This is always the fear, right? If you go for a more mid-game oriented lineup, you need to be able to win your lanes. And look at that CS chart. The fact that Slark has made it back into top 3 after what was a pretty harassive lane he was dealing with is a very, very bad sign. You can go for all the mid-game aggression you want, but if you don't win your lanes, you won't have enough power going into the mid-game to make your lineup worth it.
And so much of about it was winning your lanes. You look at the third person in the net worth, that's a Bane, man. Bane, who's sitting, okay, now he actually got zoned out by the Slark. But the Bane is as your first one. It was meant to be a quick mech coming up from him, and it just hasn't worked. So while you're not getting your farm, your effort you put in there, top lane, Miguel, dead. Look at the TPs coming in. They're going to cancel it. Massive Mortar here, and so is Era. Avalanche, toss, man getting hit by this. The Oni will go. The Finger of Death will bring down N0tail, but this actually causes him a couple more problems. Fader, he's able to escape from this one, but while Era's on the front line, he's got toss available again. May as well, in fact, he throws the Quap in. The Quap volley will go, but Hani's already over on Fader. Almost put it in fact, he will do so. Damn, that range is high. Era turns around for another Avalanche, but Zoshka moving so quickly because he's a hasted chicken. Will be able to escape himself away from this, but the tower goes down. The Mass Serpent Wards did their job. Era finds himself with another kill. He's not wanting to abandon the top lane just yet.
Well, okay, so earlier I asked about maybe how many times this Fader really played Ember Spirit. That was some really good play by Ember Spirit. I feel like I have to showcase that good play of his because of that little bit of a flame earlier, but it's just the honest truth that his Ember Spirit rotations aren't really doing much, and it was really, really early for Ember Spirit rotations too. Like, I know Sigma, it's up to them to be aggressive, but moving around with your pretty much one position carry as at 8 minutes in, that's a little too aggressive in my mind. But Sigma, they just have this opportunity. They did have some small plays there. Maybe they had a slight injection of gold that gets now drums finished up on Fada. Level 10 as well. Like, despite the fact that, sure, they made a trade there, that was actually really good for Sigma because it was on the levels on the Quap and levels on the Ember.
Fight middle lane, Avalanche Array, they're trying to finish the denial on the tower, but the catapult wins, and in comes Fader. Gets a nice double stun over on Notel as well as Fly, and Soshka follows up with a very quick scream. This means the two supports are going to go down, and then also put Relocate on cooldown. Harney, long way out of position, getting hit by that ultimate from Matt. He's able to dive pack and run himself away to safety. The Batrider Firefly is also keeping him out of the tree line for the moment. Good initiation already, and Sigma can now move this momentum down to the tier 2 tower. Not fully though. Actually, yeah, they've lost their creep wave. They're going to have to back up.
That was pretty much perfect, right? They got those levels on an Ember Spirit and a Quap and then turned that into a really good team fight where you saw those abilities shine. Like the extra levels and Searing Chains coming out, doing a lot of work. In those two supports just got gobbled up by that Searing Chains, just tore them apart. So they need to continue this though. They can't back up for a moment.
Oh, Era. Miguel, he's starting the Fiend script. There's a jump in as well from Fader, but now the Batrider jumping in. He goes over on Soshka. Avalanche and one quick punch in from Tiny. And they're looking for more Fader. He had to use his one charges, in fact, to get his mana back again, but with a toss in on Notel, they turn, they stun. There's quick brain zap out too, which means they got the nukage into the Fiend script over on Era. Hex, wards, Fly, trying to give him the cover Fly. Quad Poly will Fly. They needed that to get the kill at the same time. It's actually an unstoppable streak being ended with that. And if Fader low on life tricks, he can't finish the job. He's out here. They're actually going to lose 4 heroes underneath the Mass Serpent Wards. They stay alive long enough without losing a single hero. They take out 4 of Fnatic's, and I think Fnatic are highly regretting going for that fight. They weren't ready. They were not ready.
No. Sigma, they thought that was a guaranteed couple of kills. They thought they were just going to be able to chase down Sigma. There's no way that Sigma can turn. But Sigma had this really, really good, well-executed, well-communicated turnaround where they pretty much did everything they possibly could perfect in that turn. So really, really well done by them. And that was on Fnatic, right? They paid over-aggression with some over-aggression of their own.
Honey. He's jumping in right now with the tether and the balls. They can't pick up Miguel, but he goes into the brain zap for Notel. He can't survive on the front lines. This man has no drums. He has no nothing. He has no massive line points, and Fader's about to jump up again. Can't do it just yet. Avalanche toss. Miguel's the sidelines. Fader, chicken numb as well as now Shackle. He'll die, and that's a good spree for Tani. It's a double kill for him. Over towards Matt. They want to give him this last hit, but the Batrider will take it.
Did I get you?
Move down towards the bottom lane. No matter how great that fight was for Sigma in the middle lane, Era is now 500 gold away from an Aghanim Scepter. We're at crunch time right now for Sigma.
And this gets even worse because they just lost a gem. Mad had picked up a gem before that team fight and now just threw it away to Fnatic. And that's exactly what you don't want to do up against this sort of global ganking strategy. With the Batrider being able to set up the relocate gank, you need as much vision as humanly possible to make sure that you survive and that you make sure that you actually have those openings to get aggressive and you aren't continually being picked off by Fnatic. Like, if Fnatic get pickoffs, this game's over. You can't afford to give away single hero pickoffs to Fnatic because it just delays your whole entire lineup, which is meant to be a pre-35-minute win for them.
Actually gets even worse than that too. Because you're running around with the hero like a slug, he's instantly going to notice when there's an observer ward around him. So there really is no way to keep everything hidden from them. Fnatic will basically force Sigma to go blind on the map with not a single observer wall. But Sigma, they want that gem back. They're coming for Harney on the top lane. But what are they supposed to do? He's just going to Shadow Dance his way out of here if they can't get continuous stuns. And now Batrider scouts out. There's the first on Harney, but into the Dark Pact and Shadow Dance. Backing up while Harney's searching for one quick pickoff. Leave an observer wall behind him. They can't get rid of this. There's no sentry wards over on the lineup of Sigma. So the tier 1 tower will be traded because Hera is already taking out the tier 1 tower in the mid. Which is a straight trade for trade.
It's not good
Dire's
for
top
Sigma,
tower
but it's what
has
they have
fallen.
to take right now. Just
Radiant's
getting
middle tower
closer
is
to
under
the
attack.
base, right? Just anything they can.
See, that's not enough though.
Oh, it's not. It's absolutely not. But what else can they really do? They're just pretty much they're at the mercy of Fnatic. Fnatic, if they play overly aggressive and make too much of their lineup, which is more of a mid
Dire's
to late
top
game
tower
oriented
is under
lineup,
attack.
if they make too much of it and try and fight early and they give a bunch of kills away, yeah, Sigma can come back into this game. But as it stands, with Fnatic already with a 3,500 gold lead, you can't really
Radiant's
ensure
bottom
that
tower
you're going to
is
be
under
able
attack.
to end
Dire's top
Fnatic
tower
in the
has
next 5
fallen.
to 10 minutes, which is really what you should be looking at for Sigma. Sigma have a draft that they need a serious advantage by 25 minutes, and right now it's 20 minutes in, they don't have anywhere close to an advantage.
Do you see what they're trying to do as an advantage? I don't know if Sochka is, like, if he goes for a Lincoln Sphere right now, I really feel that he's out of this game. But if this is a rushed up side to Vice, they can lock down Hani before he gets that BKB off and pick him up. I know they've still got a huge problem, which is going to be that Tiny, who, after picking up an Aghanim Scepter only a couple of moments ago, is walking around with 2.4k gold. This could be a very quick AC. Oh, we're relocating out and coming to bottom lane. Mad, lassoed, controlled, and dead. Up on top lane, Hani pounces away. Fader unable to get the lockdown. Hani as well. But this is now going to be the tier 2 tower dying on the bottom lane. And a rather aggressive item coming out from the Batrider too. To see Trixie pick into a, Hera, he wants to fight up against Vader. The mass open water down 2+, comes in, turns Hera into a Brock, but now the fly, trying to pick off Miguel. Almost got nuked down himself, but the Nightmare effect saving him for the moment. Fiend's Grip over to Trixie, but there's just not enough time. In comes the tether from Notal. He keeps their spirits alive, not to mention Hera swinging into Miguel. Turn the other way, hit on actually the hero, not the creep wave. Flame break, just off target. Avalanche, not available. They can't get the TPing out Hero, but the tier 2 tower still does take a fall. And what do we end up doing? 1 for 1 in that trade? Hello? Really thought that was going to be a little bit more in favor of Fnatic right there. They have a gem still? Not on these heroes.
No.
Gem's over on the Slark, who's not with Sochka. Hey, he's got Sting, he's got Scream, that's Notal's death. They may be out of turn for a quick kill. Avalanche toss, jump in with a lasso. Notal will tether himself to Era. He'll actually live through this with the one charge as he managed to pick up just then.
And he's actually going to get a Vlad's for his big carries, so both Tiny and Slark are really going to appreciate that pickup. And when you have like a big luxury item like that on one of your supports at 21 minutes in, it's a really, really bad sign.
You mean luxury? You get a Blink Dagger
Yeah,
as well over on a
luxury.
Shadow Shaman. And now we're getting almost a full AC over on Tiny. He's a recipe away from a full AC. He'll give back to Wisp what Wisp gives to him.
Yep.
This is so problematic for Sigma. They're going to have to be fighting through so much armor with so little armor while there's lifesteal going the other way, and you've got the huge clearance with the cleave coming out from Era. You're seeing its effect right now on the Ancients. Imagine if this was a hero.
Pretty much you combine the top 2 net worth for Sigma, and they barely eke out Era's net worth right now. You give it a couple more minutes and Era will have double any hero on Sigma, which is just crazy to talk about for only 22 minutes in. Like, he is so far ahead. He's about to pick up his second big item while Fada still working on his first.
Are they considering? No, they're looking up towards top lane. Still see Hani up here. Fnatic are going solo Roshan right now.
Yep.
I say solo. It's a dual, possible even 3 hero Roshan, while Hani is pulling all the attention of Sigma. They smoked up to originally look over towards Roshan. That was the path it looked like. There's no other reason for them to go where they went. But now they're also trying to use Queen of Pain as bait. Fnatic aren't taking it. They're too busy bringing down the big man. And with Roshan dead, that means Assault Cuirass, I believe there will be enough money for Era to finish that. Flyers already goes level 2 wards, so that doesn't matter.
Roshan has
It's going to be really good experience in levels, and yeah, there's your
Dire's
AC.
bottom tower
So
is
AC
under
is up,
attack.
Aegis the Immortalist well over on Tiny. He's still got a Haste Room bolted up on top of this. And now what? We're going to rank it up even more DPS with a Maelstrom into a Mjolnir coming up for Slark.
How many times have you seen that on a Slark? Like, it absolutely makes sense. The item is very, very suited for a Slark.
Sochka initiates on. Whisper locates coming into. They want to short that kill.
Wow.
Avalanche and Toss. That is meant to be their late game potential. Lincoln Sphere won't protect this quap.
No,
It really doesn't protect her at all. But she can't use Orchid. because if she buys up an Orchid, she'll die straight
Radiant's
away.
top
So she's looking for
tower is under
stats while
attack.
having a disable. Would have
Radiant
been the
structures
decisive
are
vice, but you would have
fortified.
never got enough money to get to that point, so the world crumbles around.
Yep, so with the Perseverance being picked up, we're going to see Lincoln's out of Quap. And granted, like, you look at that damage, you go, how are you going to survive that? Well, as long as the Bat Rider Lasso doesn't land,
Radiant's top tower
you
is
will
under
actually
attack.
be able to survive as a Quap, but that's not going to give you a winning advantage. Sure, you'll be able to avoid some of the ganks
Radiant's
coming out
top
from
tower
Fnatic,
has fallen.
but avoiding is not the same as winning.
Yep.
Like, you're just delaying the inevitable at this point in time. So, right now, Fada, I'm interested to see what item he's going to pick up, though. That's really the big question mark for me. Is he going to go for Desolator?
It's got to be a Deso.
It's got, yeah, I would agree.
There's no other choice right now. If it be for tower push or be it for just getting a slight advantage before the fight begins. That's the only
Dire's
thing. They're going to look
bottom
at doing
tower is under
whatever
attack.
damage they can dish out from being inside their base. Sasha Shaw's looked at blinking into a tree
Hasted
line.
Era.
Yeah, with Fly with the Blink Dagger, they have enough initiation that Era, he just triggers the Haste Rune, gives the ball back over towards No-Tail. Actually, that wasn't even a Haste Rune. That's just his basic movement speed. Unless,
No, the Haste Rune ended.
okay,
He had one,
because
yeah.
I click on him directly after. I'm like, okay, now he's going a little bit slower. But that can't be his base movement speed. Now jumped in as well. Miguel, that's his base movement speed. With Trixie with that Mask of Madness, he moves so quickly.
Dire's bottom tower is
Ember
under
Spirit
attack.
bounces around them, but yeah, still no buy up from Ember Spirit for his item. If Fnatic wanted, they could just go high
Radiant's
ground.
middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
absolutely.
middle
Nothing
tower
can stop
has
them.
fallen.
There's 2 levels up in Mass Open Wars to be
Dire's
used.
bottom tower
And
is
there
under
they go.
attack.
Make a buffer between Era as well. Look at the tree reach. He's on the other side of the Mass Open Wars and can
Radiant's
still
middle tower
hit the
has
tower.
fallen.
Yep, you do not mess with a big shiny like this, and he doesn't even have his last upgrade, right? He doesn't even have level 16 yet.
Yeah, that's not the full growth. But there goes mid-Rax. Another
Radiant's
quick jump in
middle
from
barracks
Fader.
has fallen.
He gets one quick hit, but then Era hits back with a stun. He's got toss available. He was about to do it, but then got stunned up himself. And now Shadow Shaman, he managed to get a very nice flash there on Fader. Good jump in as well by Sasha, but with the Firefly that's up and running, they just can't win this game. There's just too much power coming out from Fnatic. They lose the Shadow Shaman, but really at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. GG is called. Game number 1 will go to Fnatic. And is going to wrap
Fnatic
up our
victory.
game. At least for our first match here in the best of 3. We'll be having ourselves a short break and coming back where we'll see if Fnatic can qualify themselves in. If they win the next game, they will in fact progress themselves through into the quarterfinals of the D2CL playoffs for Season 2, which is where they will face up against, well, actually, I'm not quite sure. It'll either be